All right. Good afternoon. Thank you all for taking the time to join us today. Just as a reminder, we are recording this meeting and we want you to be comfortable so you can keep your camera off or change to an anonymous name if you'd like. This is the fourth meeting in a 5-part workshop series for the TAY community for the next phase of the design of the new hub located at 1510 Parkmoor Avenue. I'm Natalie Monk, HCD Division Manager at the Office of Supportive Housing at the county. And thank you all so much for attending. We're really excited to share our recent updates on the design with you. Next, please. So a quick review of our agenda. The first 10 minutes will be a quick recap of the project background. The next 20 will be for our development team to give you an update on how your feedback has been incorporated so far. Site information and opportunities for art at the hub. We'll spend a large portion of the meeting on design exercises to get you thinking about what's important to you for art at the new hub. And then after that, we're going to spend the rest of our time today taking questions. Finally, we'll close out the last few minutes with next steps and a reminder of how to stay involved. Next. And just a reminder of our meeting guidelines so that we can do our best possible job of hearing everybody this afternoon. Please try to stay muted during the presentation. You can use the chat function or the Q&A button to submit questions at any time. We do have members of the team monitoring the chat and Q&A, so if you need assistance, just let us know. And if you want to participate in our first icebreaker, please type your name into the chat along with your favorite thing about the hub, if you're able to sum it up in just a few words. And if you're affiliated with any particular group of stakeholders, for example, if you're a current hub user, hub alumni, with YHDP, et cetera. And if you don't want to participate in the icebreaker, that's totally okay. We just want you to feel comfortable. If you are a current hub user, we have $10 gift cards for Target and Amazon available as a thank you for your participation today. So just add the word youth into your screen name or type your name into the chat with the word youth if you want to receive one. Next. So we do have two main goals for this workshop. We want to share our project updates with you, and we want to include you in the design process and hear your input and questions. And again, a couple of caveats. We're still in the design process and we may not have all the answers yet. So we're going to continue to update as we move forward with the project. We want to hear all of your feedback and try to incorporate it and address it the best we can. But there might be times when we're not able to do so because of the constraints of the project. So when that happens, we'll explain to you why we weren't able to incorporate your feedback. Next, please. I believe we have a hub founder with us today to say a few words. So I'm going to hand it off to Brianna.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today, as was mentioned. And I just wanted to introduce myself really quickly. My name is Brianna Saldvar. I am a current youth engagement specialist stationed at the hub. And as you see pictured, I am also one of the 10 former foster youth who helped to found the hub. What that means is that way back when the hub was created, I was one of the people, myself along with 9 other foster youth, helped to create what the hub is today. And part of your role here is to help create what the hub will look like in the future, which I am super excited about because my experience now has been so far removed because I'm a lot older, right? So I'm going to go ahead and read our mission statement for the hub. The hub is a youth-led and organized community center dedicated to supporting current and former foster youth ages 15 to 25 by providing a safe, welcoming center where foster youth feel a sense of belonging, empowerment, and are offered a variety of services by their peers and other community members. And so I really hope that I'm really happy that we're having all these meetings to get your guys' input, and the more you guys are able to share with us about what you want to see at the hub, the more we'll be able to make the center catered to you.
Thanks, Brianna. So again, this project is a partnership between 2 county departments, the Social Services Agency, or SSA, and the Office of Supportive Housing, or OSH. So OSH's purpose is to increase affordable and supportive housing so that we can end homelessness and help people get into stable, decent housing. So our role in the project is the development of the housing portion and general project management for the project as a whole. SSA's mission is to provide resources and opportunities to enhance the quality of life in our community. So their role in the project is the development of the new hub. But because the hub and the housing are happening on the same site, literally in the same building, we're coordinating very closely together. So just a quick round of introductions. Maybe you can wave when I say your name. In addition to myself, we have Andrew Barnes from OSH, who's the day-to-day project manager. Thanks, Andrew. Do we have Damian Wright here, Assistant Director for DFCS? Maybe not yet. What about Daniel Little, Director of DFCS? I think he will be joining in a bit. Don Long, I see you, Administrative Services Bureau Manager for DFCS, and Gilbert Murillo, Family Support Bureau Manager for DFCS, and Cindy Guillen, ILP Social Work Supervisor. We're also joined by Betty Duong from Supervisor Chavez's office, as well as David Fernandez from Supervisor Ellenberg's office. And I believe Nicholas Ochoa from Councilmember Davis's office. In addition, we have our development team, Macy Lung, Senior Project Manager at Allied Housing, our selected developer, and Rad Henny, Director of Design at HKIT Architects. Great. Next slide. Okay, so I'm going to use the phrase TAY during this presentation. TAY stands for Transition Aged Youth, which refers to youth who are aging out of the foster care system. And our goal today is to be inclusive. So when we're saying TAY, this is only our shorthand for the very broad community of foster youth, youth who are transitioning out of the foster system, current users of the hub alumni, children of foster youth, and TAY, and so many others who identify as part of this community. Next, please. A reminder of the previous outreach when the project started a number of years ago. Outreach started to pick up in late 2018, and Allied has also conducted 3 large community-wide meetings last year prior to this 5-part workshop. Next, please. So this is the 4th workshop of our 5-part series to get your input on specific topics and themes for the design. Today, the theme is Art at the New Hub, and the next workshop will focus on the TAY-focused affordable housing project. We're also trying to schedule the bi-monthly coffee sessions to answer questions and get into a little more detail on topics that are of interest to you. And later in this meeting, we're also going to tell you how to sign up to help us design specific art elements at the new hub. Next, please. So this is the current estimate of the timeline. Allied is pursuing entitlements and financing. And this workshop series and the bi-monthly meetings are shown in orange. And these are the opportunities for you all to give us your input. And now I will hand it off to Macy from Allied Housing.
Thank you, Natalie, and thank you, Rod. Thank you, everyone, for being here. I'm really excited to be here on our 4th workshop today, and we're going to talk about art and get everyone's feedback and potential submission on your art. Next slide. So we're really, really excited to be here again today. And it's really my pleasure to see many of you guys. I recognize many of you guys again. So happy to hear what you have to say for your input. And I'm looking forward to hearing your thoughts. So in the big picture feedback, we have already had several input from everyone here. So we have also reached out and engaged with many of the TAY stakeholders. And we really wanted to have a youth-centered design for the hub, well, for the art, but for all the design process, interior, exterior architecture. And we wanted to make sure we're building a connection between the hub and the housing, and also making sure we accommodate all the programming and services when we're doing the design process, and really listening to all of you guys' feedback, which we had many, many great feedback on in the past. Next slide. So as you can see, the next 3 slides are basically the initial feedback on the hub's programming and the design. We asked all of you guys about what you want to have the programs to be next to each other or what program should go in there, and really listening to you guys' thoughts. The next 2 slides. And you'll see in some of our breakout room, different groups have different ideas. And our goal was to combine all of these feedback, because there's many great ideas for both inside and outside the hub, into one hub that you guys will love and you guys can call home. Next slide. And so we had several workshops already, workshop 1 through 3, talking about overall hub sites, exterior, interior, and now we're at the arts. And some of the feedback from the workshop number 1 recently in July, some of the comments are, you guys would like something that's bigger than the existing hub and includes a centralized lobby, space to showcase your accomplishment and also awards and celebration of your birthday, graduation. And then also the aesthetic is thoughtful, inclusive, and also many of the programs that you guys want to see on classroom, kitchen, we have incorporated into the design. Next slide. And then in terms of other miscellaneous things like lockers, staging, tactile walls, outdoor spaces, we have also received a lot of feedback that have gone through our design process and incorporated them. Next slide. And in a workshop number 2, we're talking about the exterior of the hub and basically talking about all the outdoor activity spaces and gathering spaces and all the plantings. I heard, and our design team, we also heard that you want a place for your children to run around, a place to sit and clear your head, meditation spaces, tables and chairs, picnic tables, and then also other suggestions that we heard that we tried to incorporate as many as possible, like play equipment as well. You guys have selected what play equipment you guys would like. And we have some clear winners, we have some tiebreakers. So we folded that all into our design after your feedback. Next slide. And then in workshop number 3, our last one, we're talking about interior of the hub and got lots of feedback from everyone. We also have several different options for you to choose what you like. So some are ceilings, some are floorings. So here you see the winner for one of the options, which is the main space design concept, which HKIT had combined all of your feedback into one image. So ceiling and floor. Next slide. And then here you'll see what floor pattern you guys like, and you guys chose the one that's a wavy shoreline type. Next slide. And then also we talk about colors of different classroom. We heard that you guys wanted to have the hub color. So we found out that is yellow and black, and also the ILP colors. You guys want to incorporate into our classrooms. And then we also have different design schemes for colors. And we heard that you guys like a combination of A and C, but also like A and then C separately. So our design team are taking those and taking it back to the hub's interior design. Next slide. And then we also hear a lot of general comments about what you guys would like to have. In the career room, we heard that you guys want a space in the children's area to be away from the parents so children can play within the same space. We heard what you guys like and don't like about the ceilings, on the ceiling lightings. And you guys thought it was really cool to have the pull cord, the electrical cord that's hanging from the ceiling, and giving us some feedback on your kitchen, what you like. And so we heard lots of great feedback that we have incorporated into our design for the hub, the inside. And we also heard what kind of art you guys typically do in terms of making art. So today you will get a chance to talk about your art preference and also be involved in actually making the art rather than just having it inside the classroom in the hub only. And next slide. And so our responses in general, I'll go through that quickly, and then Rod can say a little bit more in general, is we responded to your comments. You guys mentioned you guys like to have open spaces inside the hub, really large windows, which we have many large windows. You guys really like the design of each room, and also like to have the small private spaces in the kids area. Wanted to feature accomplishment, birthdays, graduation. So we found a spot to definitely showcase and celebrate each of you. You guys like to have individual cubicles for studying, alone time for folks who want to study in the hub, and then career room, and also a calm down area that's a Zen tranquility area. Next slide. So with that being said, we heard many of your comments and we took it to heart. We actually went through after each of our meeting to review and study every single one of your comments and discuss internally and also with the whole team to make sure we incorporate all of them as much as possible. And so now I'm really excited to turn this over to Rod from HKIT to talk a little bit about the site context. And next, we're going to also have Civic Design Studio, the artist and art consultant, to administer the Jamboard and ask you guys questions on art you guys would like to do, and also provide the ability for you guys to submit art and also engage in participating in the murals and also showcasing the art actually inside the hub as part of the design process. So we're excited to hear from you today. And with that said, I'm going to turn it over to Rod, our architect from HKIT.
Thanks, Macy, and good afternoon, everybody. I know that I'm going to do this background fairly quickly, and many of you who have attended the meetings before have already heard it, but some of you may be new. So just in case, the site, as you can see in this photograph on the left, the Highway 280 is on the bottom, and then Parkmoor Avenue is on the top, and to the right is Meridian, and it's right across from the shopping center. This is the site plan with Parkmoor now on the bottom, so this is the different orientation, and Meridian's on the left, and 280 is on the top. The hub is near the corner, so immediately accessible from the street corner. The housing is just to the right, and in front of the hub, surrounding the entry walk, is the outdoor space. And we reviewed this outdoor space with you, got great comments. You can see that the entry is pretty much in the middle where it says hub entry. On the left is the child play area, and that's a fenced, safe area for children to play from outside of the child supervision interior space. On the right is an activity area that includes basketball, barbecue, seating area, gardens, and places to dine and meet, as well as a very large existing oak tree, which is a great feature and connects you to nature. This is a view of the hub entry, which is right, the walk down the middle with the child space to the left and the outdoor space to the right. And you can see the housing is to the far right, and they have their own outdoor space above the hub. So today we're going to be showing you 5 different places and types of art, and we're asking for input on all of those. So this is a great opportunity for us to hear really what thoughts you have. So number 1, we have this long wall, which is at the first floor along the hub entry. Number 2, you can see, is on the top, and that's a wall area that's above on the upper floors of the housing. Number 3 on the right side is within the hub, and it's a long wall that is a major feature inside the hub. Number 4 is for signage on doors, which occurs throughout the hub. And finally, number 5, we have some metal screens, and I'm going to show you where each one of those are and what they look like. So number 1 is this long wall you can see that's to the right of the entry. It's obviously a really prominent feature and will give a real identity to the hub. Number 2 is the piece that's above the main entry door. This is also highly visible and very important. Number 3, the main space wall is on the left. You can see this orange wall. Actually, sorry, it is on the left. And this view shows the entry door. you asked us to use this ceiling concept. So we've included your floor choice. We've included your lighting choice over the desk. And you asked to include the hub colors. So we put the yellow in and the logo. So we've included the logo on right when you walk in the door. So it really, we tried our best to respond to your comments. This other main view shows the is a little bit more in the space, but the wall that you see, the long wall on the background here with the blue and the orange and the yellow, that's the third location for the art. And obviously it's a very important wall. Number 4 is the signage. So this would be, there's graphics on the signage next to the doors, and we can incorporate your ideas for that art. And number 5, this is a view of the overall building. We have metal screens, and they have different themes, and we're going to be asking you about what your thoughts on those screens might be. So with that, I will introduce Tommy, and he will talk about Civic Design Studio.
Hello, everyone. My name is Tommy Wong, and I'm based here in Oakland, and started Civic Design Studio about 10 years ago. And what we do is we work with young people, we work with schools, we work with youth programs, and all different sectors of a city. We work with community leaders, we work with librarians, teachers, to do artwork in public places. And we've done hundreds of public art projects in Oakland, San Francisco, and gratefully now in San Jose. And so we're very excited to be here. We have been paying attention to the process that has been going on so far. And we've been listening and really been trying to keep our ears open, as everyone else has, to your ideas. And so the reason why we're here today is to listen to you, to get your ideas and get your feedback. And I'm very, very proud to introduce Lauren Marshall, who's been with Civic Design Studio for 5 years. She's going to be introducing and running the activities for the rest of the time with you. Thank you very much, and just very happy to be a part of this. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much, Tommy, for the great introduction. Before I introduce myself and some of the work that I do at Civic Design Studio, I just wanted to say how excited I am to hear all the ideas that y'all have. I know that this is really the chance for y'all to share and provide as much information so we can make the hub a safe space and really just, enjoyable. So as Tommy said, I've been working with Civic Design Studio for about 5 years, since 2017. I'm a visual artist. I predominantly work in paint, so painting, acrylic, as well as oil, and sculpture using ceramics. And I work as a project manager, so I facilitate a lot of the projects that we do. As Tommy said, we've worked in a lot of different communities, predominantly in Oakland. So Oakland Fruitvale, Chinatown, the Black Cultural Zone, many places. And as well as that, we have an art squad that I run, which is made up of high school students and rising college students who've been major part for a lot of the artwork that we've been engaging with the community that's been made. In addition to that, on this screen, our lead artist, Francisco Sanchez, his artwork will be displayed in some of the Jamboard exercises. And he will be one of the main people to help kind of lead us as we go through the exterior murals as well. So we wanted to present the goals that we have for today. So number 1, we want to get your ideas on the artwork for the hub. Number 2, find out what visual elements you like for the art. Number 3, see what themes are important to you. And number 4, to offer a youth art opportunity for the signage. And we'll explain that a little bit later as well. So these are our main questions that we'll be asking today. Number 1, what are some important ideas to incorporate? Number 2, what visual elements would you like to see in the art? Number 3, what types of art appeal to you? Number 4, What themes are important to you? Number 5, which option do you like for the art screens on the building? Number 6, do you make art? Would you like to be involved in the signage art? And number 7, any other thoughts or suggestions for the art? So at this time, we're going to go to the Jamboard link.
Thank you, Lauren, and I just put in our chat box the Jamboard link. And so while Rod pulls it up, if you're a hub youth, please use a green sticky note like the past. If you're a youth stakeholder, you can use a yellow sticky note. And if you're hub staff, you can use a blue sticky note. And I also saw lots of amazing comments beforehand about different types of art idea inside the hub. We also have art that we want to put in the new hub. So please keep them coming because these are very cool ideas. And then so for the Jamboard, if you're actually calling from a phone, feel free to unmute yourself and just call out the answer if you can't type and access the link, and we'll record it for you. If you do have access to the Jamboard, on the left-hand side of the panel, you're going to see a arrow, and below the arrow is actually a sticky note that's round, and you press on that button. And then once you press on that button, you'll see the sticky note that shows up right now. So if you're a hub youth, you can just click on the green and then put in your comment, and you click save, and it will show up on the Jamboard. So we'll rearrange them in real time for you to make them organized. And also feel free to put your comments in the chat box, and we'll translate your comment in the chat box also directly on Jamboard as well for you. So let us know if you have access to the link or if you have trouble with it. If not, I'm going to turn it back to Lauren to administrate this.
Thank you. And additionally, if there's any comments in the chat, we'll be able to write those for you as well. Our first question we wanted to ask is pretty loose. So you can be as vague or specific as you want. I know some folks were asking some questions about some of the artwork that was previously at the hub. So even describing what was there before, that might be a great idea. So then we can make sure that we have those there. So what are some ideas that are important to incorporate? We'd love to, have at least like one word or phrase to describe some things you want to see. I'm seeing some come in. It's making me really excited. Lots of varied like topics too, music, social justice. It seems like there's definitely some intersections for these as well. So I'm gonna give some time for y'all to write some more comments down, and then I can lead if anybody needs a little bit more information to help them.
Thank you, Lauren. And I'll just read out loud what's on the Jamboard. And if I see anything in the chat box, I'll read them. So we have inclusive, we have social justice from the youth. These are great comments. Of staff, we have music, intergenerational healing, community, liberation, fish friends, fun and color, imagery that reflects our youth. That's great. So keep them coming. Artwork currently at the hub: heart mural, tree mural, pieces of our lives, a puzzle mural, and of course our what the hub means to you, youth. That's great. I think we actually saw that when we looked at, toward the hub, this giant canvas. It's really amazing. Cultural inclusivity, that's a great one. Motivation quotes, Martin said. Thank you, Martin. I'll put that on here as well. Quotes. Like an earth with youth holding hands. Oh, that's nice. Great idea. Okay. Keep them coming, and feel free to unmute yourself if you want to just share out. And if there's anything that's like a one word or phrase that's inspired to you about the hub. Something that is flexible for change so we can update artwork with current members as we continue to provide services throughout the years. So change, that's great. Okay. Feel free to unmute yourself if you want to just call out your answers. Floor mosaic in the entry of affirmations. Oh, that's nice. Inclusive, okay.
These are all really great suggestions. I really want to push a little bit too. Somebody said motivation quotes. I'd be curious to hear, what would motivate you, like what words or phrases that, get you pumped up or make you, ready to do something or engage in an activity.
Maybe if the person who talked about motivation quotes, I think, oh, that was Martin. If you want to share more, like some of the quotes you're thinking, feel free to share that in the chat or just unmute yourself or on the Jamboard if you like.
In the chat, Brianna said the first thing she thought of was just keep swimming, like Dory from Nemo. I love that though, because there's been some suggestions about things related to the environment and the earth. So even if it is like really cute, like I feel like that works really well. Yeah, quotes about resilience.
That's a good one. And then someone put maybe incorporate some stained glass. That's great. You're exactly where you are supposed to be. I saw that. Yes. Jasmine put, life is like a box of chocolate. You never know what you're gonna get. Forrest Gump. That's a good one. And Brianna second that quote.
These are all really great suggestions, you guys.
There's a quote that's too big to type for me, but it's from movie Coach Carter. Oh, I watched that. Do you want to share what it is? Or maybe quotes from famous former foster youth, okay? If anyone else have any suggestion on what these quotes may be, feel free to share out. Let's see. Any other ideas? There's lots of great ideas here. Keep them coming. It's famous. If someone had any thoughts about the former foster youth that you are inspired by, feel free to also share them because I see that as a comment in the chat box. Okay, quotes about resilience, San Jose historical figures, map of indigenous land of San Jose community figures. That's great. Simone. Oh, that's great. Tiffany and Superman. Okay, let me just put that in. That's great. Okay, and then we have one quote. Our deepest fear, not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we're powerful beyond measures. That's wonderful. Thank you for sharing that. Any other words or phrases? Lauren, any other thoughts that you'd like to ask?
Let's see. I'm really enjoying the list of like people, like specifically. I think that's going to be like really amazing to consider who could actually be like visually a part of it. You know, if we wanted to have actual like figures painted or things that are alluding to, you know, the work that they've done. So it's really exciting. I'm really enjoying all the ideas. And the quotes are super helpful too.
And I see Hub staff put former foster youth. Colin, Oprah, Marilyn, Monroe, Cher. Nice. Learning something new every day. Famous foster youth. And then someone asked, was Colin a former foster youth? And staff said yes. Nice. These are very cool. Any other words or quotes or ideas you guys want to jot down here?
And just as a reminder too, our questions following this one will get into some more specifics. So you'll have a chance to include some of these comments as well.
Malcolm X was a former foster youth. Wow. Very cool. This is really amazing. There are lots of amazing inspiration, folks, that I'm also learning. Anyone wants to unmute themselves and share out? Let me see if there's any hands raised. Just feel free to raise your hands or just unmute yourself.
And Lauren, the second question is on themes, right?
Visual elements.
Oh, elements. The third question is themes.
The fourth question is themes. The third
Okay.
question is the types of art.
Okay, so just wanted to remind everybody that there are other places where you can add comments as well. So.
All right, so let's do a last call. Feel free to raise your hands or unmute yourself. Oh. And then Don also put, just Googled famous foster youth and they have, oh, former presidents Bill Clinton and Gerald Ford, Steve Jobs of Apple, and Dave Thomas of Wendy's Burger. Wow. And then Brianna put, there's only one thing more precious in our time, and that's what we spend it on. Oh, that's great. Thank you for all of this. Okay. Last call on comments. Feel free to come back to this Jamboard page also when we have, when we're in the next pages. If you come up with another ideas or words, you're always welcome to just directly type on a Jamboard. So we're gonna record these two comments, and then Lauren, if there's no other comments, feel free to go to the next one.
Okay, so our question 2, what visual elements would you like to see in the art? So some of the examples we have are people, animal, plants, and it could not, just be restricted just to this. It could be other things as well. But the 2 example images we have on the right. So the first image is one of the murals done by Francisco, our lead artist. It features 2 figures, a macaw bird, some flowers, and some plant life in the background. Using spray paint as a medium. And the bottom image is poppies. You have some trees and some vibrant line strokes. So lots of like color, lots of like different types of imagery going on. So I'm seeing some comments come in. Water and waves, nature in the chat. It looks like Jasmine said like funny jokes. That totally could happen. I mean, it could be entertaining. It could be as creative and lighthearted as you want it to be. Any other thoughts about what you'd like to see? I know some folks were mentioning specific celebrities and folks who were foster youth. There was some mentioning of like quotes as well. So words. Okay. In the chat, Jasmine just said quotes from movies or by person.
Someone put bright and colorful. Feel free to raise your hands and unmute yourself as well. And just check if there's any hands raised. Don't see any. Okay. And Jasmine, if you have any specific quotes from the movies or of the person that you can think of that you like, also feel free to share those too. Someone put colorful. Right. Great. Quote from Martin Luther King Jr. That's great.
Okay, so we're getting some more comments coming in to the chat in terms of some visuals. Monarch butterflies is a symbol for resilience. I definitely agree with that. You could definitely see a lot of monarch butterflies in a lot of murals these days as well, because it's very relevant. I'd love to hear some thoughts about things that could relate to folks' cultural identities as well. That was one of the things mentioned in the first question. So maybe some symbols that relate to you, or any historical backgrounds or imagery that you definitely would recommend including. Yeah, cultural flags. We got some specific folks that are being listed as well. So Martin said Cesar Chavez. One of the HUB staff members said United Farm Workers History. That would be very specific. Graffiti style, yeah, I'll be into that too. I think that'd be great. That would make it very colorful and vibrant. Have the opportunity to put a lot of like abstract work on it as well. And don't be afraid to be specific as well. You know, talking about the cultural flags. If there's like anything you're specifically thinking of, so then you feel as though your identity could be properly represented, you're more than welcome to add that as well.
We have one comment, LGBTQ plus colors. That's great. Inclusive flag, great. LGBTQ plus.
What about like the autism, like people that have like disabilities, like that kind of like flag that represents disability?
Yeah, great idea. That's absolutely important. Okay. Trans flag, great. Autism. Any other ideas? Let me see if there's any hands raised. All right, I'm going to give it a last call. Again, feel free to come back to this and we will move forward to the next one. Any last call comments? Seeing none, we'll go to question number 3. Oh, I'm sorry. There was one comment, DACA Dreamers Butterfly in the last one that just came up. Thank you for that. So before I move on, any last comment from the youth on question number 2? Okay, so there's a Native American symbol that has 4 colors representing the 4 colors of people and the 4 directions, north, south, east, west. And I'm not sure what it's called. Oh, we can look that up. It's a great idea too. We'll put that onto this question. Does anyone know the symbol and can share? So I put medicine wheel. Okay. 4 colors. The medicine wheel, is that the symbol or is that a separate thing? I'm going to put that in anyway. Okay. Any other comments on this question? Okay, so let's go to question number 3.
Okay, so question number 3, choose what types of art appeal to you. So we have 4 examples right here, and you're more than welcome to include any other ones as well. I know somebody said graffiti style, so we could totally encompass that in the hand painted type of side, but if you want to reiterate that, you're more than welcome to. So the first image, you have like a pretty general like idea of like a mural is. It would either be with like spray paint or it'd be hand painted. This is one of the murals that Francisco has created. B, which is on the right hand side, top right, is a digital mural. So that would be working on like photographs or any art that would be later like pieced together and then printed out separately to be put on the wall, which would work really well for any interiors. C, carvings or cutouts. So that'd be more of like a 3D type of thing. So if you could imagine like having like a piece of paper and you like cut into it, it would be like that, except it would have a little bit of thickness to it. So it's coming off the wall. And then D, glass prints. So that would be like if you were to have some type of like imagery or print that would later be behind some type of glass to give it a different type of feel that would later be installed on the wall.
And I see some A's and some B's. And feel free to do just a letter, or you can write the text or just put +1 next to your image. We got one D. We'll put mixed media, hand painted, and digital mural. Graffiti, nice.
And one of the important things about this question is so we have an idea of what you enjoy, so we can make sure that the artwork, you know, is properly representing some of these ideas, because some art forms work better in showing certain imagery. Ooh, okay. So Cindy in the chat said, could the carvings slash cutouts create a sensory wall? I wonder. I bet it could. I bet it could. I don't know if Tommy, we've created something like that before, but I think that would be an amazing idea. We love the idea of creating interactive art pieces. And I think that would be really fun, not just for younger youth, but for folks who enjoy having a different type of stimulation.
It would be amazing.
Yes, I'm specifically thinking about earlier in the presentation talking about like a decompressed room or kind of like a room to calm down and get more in touch with yourself, or you know, for whatever needs, if you're just having like a high level of stress, or even just aesthetically, I'm sure that would look really great. So great suggestion. Thank you for that. Martin in the chat said daily quote wall. Yes. I think that would be a great way to represent some of the text that's obviously being wanted. So I'm sure there's a few ways we can present that as well, but I think that'd be really nice to walk into every day.
These are great ideas. Keep them coming. And feel free to just unmute yourself and share more. We have LED signs. We have lots of great ideas to interactive art. Lots of people like the interactive art and the sensory wall too. What a great idea. Yeah, so if there's something that you think of in addition to these, feel free to share those as well. Anything that you are interested in. Anyone wants to share out what kind of arts you guys like, wants to see? If not, we can come back to this as well. And if you have any other ideas, you can just come back to this and note on this question on a Jamboard. We can move on to the next one.
Okay, so question number 4, what themes are important to be in the artwork? So this would be when you're thinking about the general impression of the artwork, what you want to be left feeling. So some of the things that were talked about before was resilience. So the examples we have are diversity, future, community. If those are some themes that you would like to be represented, you're more than welcome to write those down so we know. The 2 images on the right side of the Jamboard are representing community artwork where the community was directly a part of it, and making sure that their interests were properly represented. So the first one, you have a panther, which is made up of different images, digital photo collage, with the text behind it, serve the people. That could totally work if there's a certain quote or a certain type of phrase that you would like to be like a resounding kind of message. And then the bottom image is it has a quote that's kind of going on a banner, and you also see some figures behind it. And it says, "They tried to bury us, but they didn't know that we were seeds." Very powerful quote. If there's something that you really want like a message to be where people are like instantly like, okay, this is what the hub is, this is what you can expect in terms of services and care, like the community around, this is the time where you can really consider like what can be put on there. So we already got some comments coming in. Music's been reiterated, being culturally inclusive, social justice, happy vibes. Absolutely. Y'all should be happy when y'all see this. So that should be a major, major key for that as well. Feel free to write in the chat. Keep the comments coming. And we're gonna put all of the influences and suggestions from the previous questions together as well. But this is to really think about, what do you want to be left with? So you got a comment on there, rose that grew from the concrete. Yes. Talking about resilience again, determination, or thoughts of that, personal growth. We got one at the bottom, my story is not over. Yes, I'm definitely enjoying that one. More about perseverance. These are all great comments. I can tell that the artwork is going to be super meaningful and powerful. So I'm really appreciative of all the efforts that y'all are putting into engaging in this activity. So some of the new comments we have are today's youth, tomorrow leaders, lifting one another up, power to the people, absolutely. Are there any other thoughts, any themes that you definitely want to be properly represented that haven't been said, maybe been on your mind? You could even post questions, something that you want somebody to be left with when they see it. Like, how can I help? How can I do more for my community? Amplifying youth voices, absolutely. I create my own success, yes. These are giving affirmations, yes. Okay, so someone said that they liked the quote, "They tried to bury us, but they didn't know we were seeds." I think that's a great representation of that. Do we have any more thoughts, any more comments? We have time to add additional suggestions as well too. Okay, community gardens, yes. I think that would be a beautiful visual and a good way to represent some different visual elements related to plant life or people and cultural values. Any additional thoughts?
And I think, Lauren, we can include all of these themes in the art, right? We don't
Yes,
even-
absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah, it would be hard to choose. Y'all got some good ideas, to be honest. It'd be really hard to, you know, pick one over the other. I think there's definitely a way to make sure everybody has their representation and suggestion included.
All right, so let's see if there's any other comments in our chat box, or feel free to unmute yourself again, or just put them on the Jamboard. Last call. I don't see any hands raised. Anyone else on the phone who wants to share out? Okay, if not, then we can go to the next question. And Rod will do this one. And I think Rod, you're unmuted. Are you muted?
Okay, thanks. So this next question is about the screens on the building. The drawing below shows the two locations. One is on the far left and one is in the middle. You can kind of see these patterns here. And we had three ideas. One was A, which was birds are fauna, the living animals of the, particularly of the South Bay. The second one, B, is on flowers or nature of the South Bay. And this one shows hummingbirds and various flowers. And the third one is to include words, which could be various languages, in different cultures, and different kinds of thoughts. And then the fourth one is just any other kind of theme that you're thinking about. So if you can let us know which one. Flowers with animals is a combination of both. So, yep, great.
And Rod, if you can expand your screen, that would be great. So these panels are on the facade of the building. If you, Rod, you can just show quickly the three locations, or the location again. It's basically you get to share your ideas to actually put it on the whole building, on top of the hub as well. So any other ideas besides flowers with animals, feel free to share. So Brianna mentioned, I think it would be hard to read words on the buildings. What do you think? Yes, we definitely can make that comment and note that. Any other ideas or preferences? And it doesn't have to be birds and native flowers and native birds or words. Okay, someone likes the native birds. And also feel free to share what type of birds if you have ideas. Someone put trees, and what type of trees as well.
So it looks like there's a question in the chat by Brianna. She said, I think it would be hard to read words on the building. What do you think? I'd like to hear some thoughts about that. I guess, like, do we know what size would be good?
I guess it depends on how far away you are, and like if you're right there. I mean, so it's a good point. So we can take that into account.
And someone put flowers with animals. What type of animals? If you want to explain and elaborate, and what type of flowers. And I also see a hands raised. Martin, you want to unmute yourself?
I feel like also design would be each color of like each mental health awareness.
Do you want to elaborate more? Just one color represent one type.
I know for I think it's I want to say there's a green one, but I don't know what the green's for. exactly.
Okay, we can look that up. And if you feel free to share also afterward, or if you've, but I put that each color represent each mental health awareness. That's a great idea. Anything else, Martin?
Also, there's a very specific flower that I like to look at. That's called a bird of paradise.
Oh, that's really nice. Okay. It's a
Very
flower.
beautiful flower.
Yeah, it's a beautiful flower. Thank you for sharing that. Someone put,
Yeah, I definitely want to echo that as well. The bird of paradise, I've seen that around the bay also. So I think that'd be a good representation too. So thank you for that.
Mhm. Someone put oak and cedar trees. Someone put birds as well. Do you want to elaborate what type of birds? Same thing with animals. Someone put animals. I think right now the representation on the panels are native birds of San Jose and the county area, and same thing with the flowers. It was from the understanding of what's native around the region. And if you have any specific, that'll be good. Someone put any birds, okay. Love the birds of paradise idea. I agree. That's a beautiful word and flower. Okay.
How about the lily plant, which means the fresh life, fresh life and rebirth.
Oh,
I see a lot of lilies.
oh, the lilies. That's
The
do you
lily
have-
plant.
yeah, the lily plants are beautiful. That's a great idea. Thank you for sharing that. So lily plants. Rebirth. And you said rebirth and fresh. I missed the second word. Fresh lives.
Rebirth and like refreshing, like rebirth and like fresh life, like refresh a life, like renew of like your life, like your whatever, like
Okay,
like a fresh step in life or whatever.
yeah. Renew of lives or steps in life. That's
So we
beautiful.
have another comment in the chat, which suggested yin and yang. So I think that would be really interesting, talking about duality, balance, harmony. I definitely think that could be represented with some of the imagery as well. If we have like some type of way to make the image very balanced, it could definitely allude to that as well.
These are a great idea. Someone put love the balance. That's great. Of harmony. Any other ideas? Lotus. Oh, beautiful. It's a great idea. So we've got a few flowers and yin and yang, balance and harmony. Any other ideas? Feel free to unmute yourself.
I got one more.
Yeah, definitely.
I actually learned this in school.
Okay.
It's it's a scale, and it's kind of like has like 3 different sections for like emotions, feelings, sense, see. I think that would be a good design too for the windows.
Yeah. The 3 sections. Is it a symbol or logo, or do you remember what it kind of looks like?
It's all I know is it's kind of like this. What is it called? Something that like, I think it's a scale.
Okay, a scale.
Yeah.
I will look it up. That's a great idea. Thank you, Martin, for that.
Mhm.
Any other idea? Someone put geometric shapes. Any type of geometry? Square, circle, triangle. I want to share specifically. Because I think right now we have a few triangle, trapezoid, not so much like circle. So. Let's see. Any other idea? These are a great idea. I see a lot of themes in terms of plants, flowers, right? And then also balance, harmony, emotions, and then also birds and animals, some trees. So there's like general themes that's emerging that you guys do like to see on the building, which is beautiful. Words are harder to read, I do agree. So if someone feels strongly about words, feel free to share what words they are. Rod, do you have any other questions you want to ask the youth based on these current response?
No, I think this is good. I think we've gotten a lot of feedback, so it's great.
And then Hub staff put, agree that words would be difficult to read and may work better with murals and paintings. That's a good comment too. So we'll definitely want to not consider words for the exterior of the building, but more imagery. That's a good comment. Thank you for that. Okay, any last call comments? So anyone else to put your thoughts on top of the building or in front of the building so everyone can see it? Okay, no hands raised, nothing in the chat, nothing on the Jamboard, so feel free to go to the next one. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, so our question 6, so this is our second to last question. This is more particular for the youth. So do you make art? If so, what type of art would you like to be involved in the signage, ancestral, or the murals? So we particularly mentioned the signage because you'll have the opportunity to add any artwork in those little signs. So we have an example on the right, but there may be some mural opportunities if y'all want to get into that. So if anybody is into that, you're more than welcome to, make a comment. There'll be a process on how to move forward after that if there is an interest. So Macy, I'm sure you can explain a little bit about that.
Yeah, so this is, when you see this photo, it's basically a signage in front of a room. So inside the hub, there are many different interior rooms, right? And each of the room, many of them will get a sign that says this is room number 1, room number 2. And on top of that, there's a image. And basically what we would love is the youth, you guys will submit your artwork to us, and then we actually showcase your work inside the hub. And they will be like representing each room, right? So when you enter room number 2, you'll see your artwork on top. And so if you guys can share in general what type of art you guys would like to do, but also if you guys want to engage in creating these art, and then we can showcase them inside the hub and also participate in the mural process. We will send out a process afterward in terms of how we can engage you and submit your artwork to us, and also work with Civic Design Studios, Lauren and Tommy, to create these art. So you can call the hub not only your own, but these artwork truly are your own. So I'll go back to Lauren, and I see some comments. This is a great idea. I would love to see pieces created from our members. Yes, we would love to see that as well. Can we theme the art? That way, instead of calling it room 2, it could be the flower room or the forest room, etc. What do you think? Oh, that's a great idea too. Why not have images based on a room name? If the room have names, that's true too. Okay, back to you, Lauren.
Yes, thank you so much for the comments. if someone feels comfortable like writing like some of the ideas about like a themed room, just so then we have that as a thought, I think that would be really nice, especially if like the color schemes are kind of according to it. I think that would be really nice to see that.
I had a question. Well, it's not. Well, it's a question, but what about? I don't know if it's like a theme or something, but what about doing like a puzzle piece, like a puzzle, like
Ooh.
theme, like kind of like where everyone has their, because everyone has their own way where they fit into like a community together, you know, but it, like creates one big picture, but everyone has their own piece, like
I think
of
that
a
would
puzzle
definitely be
that
possible.
kind of like a puzzle, kind of like, you know, like that represents disability awareness plus community coming together plus like it represents a lot of stuff. Like the puzzle represents a lot of things. Like there's a lot of meanings to a puzzle. So like it means community coming together, disabilities, and whatever the case may be. Like it represents a lot of things.
I think that's
Like
a great suggestion. Do you have like a vision for it? Like, do you imagine like would it be for the signage, or do you imagine it for like the mural? One of the comments in the chat from Brianna, she said, great idea of doing a puzzle mural. Do you see it as kind of like a separate thing where like all the images for the signage are kind of related, or like it would be for like a larger artwork, like for a wall or something?
Whatever would work the best, I guess. I don't know.
Okay.
Whatever everyone agrees on. It doesn't really matter. It's just whatever.
Okay. I think that's valid. Thank you so much. I think that would be really cool, and it would make it very cohesive. I think that's something that would be really nice to see. Some type of like theme that is like overarching for some of the artwork. So because there is a lots of different artwork that's going to be around the hub, you know, on the exterior and the interior. If when people come in, they can kind of have an understanding of what it's all about. I think that works really well. So the puzzle idea is like a really great one.
And I think we can combine all of these ideas, right? Have puzzles and have theme rooms and also any representation within these. So I think you're in great hands.
Or I had another one. Or
Yeah.
what about like a tree and everyone has their own like little branch, like where everyone comes together, like it's like a kind of like the tree of life, or like a tree too. It's another one. Other than like a puzzle, but there's like we can also do like a tree too, kind of like represents nature, but also represents like the life of everyone coming together, like community.
I think that's a great idea. And even visually, like a representation of a tree means so much cross-culturally. Having it be like the branch or even extending it, like, you know, having stuff on like the roots or the trunk of the tree and having some type of imagery, I think that would look really, really nice. So great suggestion. So we got a bunch of ideas on how the signage can be best represented in terms of the art styles and the themes, as well as thoughts about what the murals could be. If anyone has any more ideas about what the signage could look like, we can, you know, consider maybe some of the things that were said in the past. So we're going like very much like natural and landscape and environment. If that's kind of like the thought process that we want to move towards, maybe we can think about even some of the specific imagery related to that. I know from the previous questions, we were talking about specific types of like nature things, so like birds of paradise, lotus, lilies. Like, would that be of interest? Like having some of the rooms be related to that, maybe with those types of names, like types of flowers or types of, you know, trees. And we don't have to have a definitive answer either. This is more just a question to kind of pose and continue thinking about what the art can be. for this signage, as well as like the murals.
And I think the first question, do you make art? And it doesn't have to be like drawing 2D. It can be any type of art, and then it can be represented, right? Take a picture of that, and then you also can put on a sign. So if any of you guys do any type of art, feel free to share. I remember last meeting, we have some folks who do some watercolor painting drawings. If there's anyone who does like 3D art, movies, interactive art, that can also be represented on a 2D level and then show that. It doesn't have to be something that is just drawings. So if you are interested also in learning how to do art, feel free to share what type it is as well. And everyone is an artist. There's no good or bad art. Like everyone's an artist. So.
What if you don't know how to draw?
Then this will be an opportunity for you to learn some more.
Or never taking any like art classes or anything.
That's totally fine. We want everybody, anybody and everybody who's interested. So even if you don't feel like you're the best like drawer or artist, or like you've never really done it before, this would be a great opportunity to do it, because we're looking for anybody and everybody to participate if that's something you're interested in. So if you're one of the people who want to, get better or experience like a different type of art form, like this would be the opportunity to do so.
And I see in the chat, someone put, I love painting, acrylics, and beyond, I am not an artist. Just to give an idea, I remember I saw one of the art piece, quote unquote, from a couple of years ago. And it was an artist who decided that he likes the color blue. And he basically just have a canvas and paint everything blue. And that's his artwork. So for him, it's also art. So it's basically how you interpret what art is. So don't worry if you haven't taken any classes, you don't need any like formal training to be an artist.
So we have a comment in the chat from Christina. She said, I love painting, doing acrylic, but she's staff. I feel as though you can still participate. I don't know. What do you think, Macy?
I think Christina can definitely work with the youth. And yeah, painting acrylics are definitely great to have as well in the hub. And then Hub staff said, yes, absolutely. And Brianna put, we do partner with Opera Cultura. Sorry if I butchered that. They do art classes on Mondays at the hub. That's a great idea. Maybe we can work with them also to create art that you guys want to showcase in the hub. Pacific Art League, great.
I think that's a great comment. One of the things that was mentioned in a previous question was like rotating artwork for any new hub members or folks who are coming in. So I think that would be a good way of doing that. Thinking about like how we can rotate artwork. It could be seasonally. It can just be off of like every year. It's like updated or something new is added, or even just considered what else to contribute.
Yeah, yes. Yeah, to help me because of my
I am hearing someone on speaker. Do you have a comment? Oh, okay. But if you do, feel free to unmute yourself. Cultured or Pacific Art League, okay. Love the idea of art rotation, okay. Okay, so any last call comments? Oh, they can help anyone who doesn't feel that artists are a strong suit like me. Again, there's no strong and weak, there's nothing. We honestly, it's how we interpret art and what we think is art. So anyone can participate. So don't worry. And you are in good hands working with our artist and art consultant team. So, all right. And someone is putting something. So after this, we will work with the county to share a process and how you guys can submit and participate. We definitely welcome anyone and everyone with the youth and hub related staff and hub youth and any folks who are interested in participating. will you hear from us? But these are some great ideas. So start thinking about what you want to put on there or work with us to create something of your own and make the hub reflect the art that you're creating. Okay, back to you, Lauren, for the next one.
Okay, so this is our last question. So question 7, do you have any other thoughts or suggestions for the art? So we've got a lot of comments, we got a lot of feedback. I'm super excited. One of the great things about doing an exercise like this is it gives us a lot of direction, right? So as someone who does work in creative industries and makes their own artwork, when I'm working with someone, it is super helpful when somebody already has a vision. And it seems like a lot of y'all already have some sort of vision for what you want the space to look like. So if there's any other questions or things that you'd like to mention or reiterate, now would be the time. You can add a comment in the chat or directly to the Jamboard on a sticky note, just so we can make sure that it's being properly represented and we can keep that in mind as we're going through the art process. So someone just put down sculptures. I'm really curious what that could be interpreted as at the hub. I know one of the things mentioned was the idea of a sensory wall and having some type of like carvings or cutouts. Maybe that could be some type of like sculptural work where it's 3D, something popping out. Or possibly if there's a way to actually have like a 3D like sculpture. I don't know how it'll work out, but I'm sure we could do it if we, plan for it. Definitely, Tommy and I, we've worked with students to create more larger scale installations as well as smaller ones, but that are using a different medium that isn't 2D.
It looks like Martin may have a raised hand. Is that correct, Martin?
Yes. I have another suggestion. Mandalas. Those art designs where you can color like the different, each design's different. I think that would be a good art design.
I think that's a great suggestion. That makes me think about like sacred geometry. So thinking about types of intricate designs. If it's something interactive like that, like we could just have an outline or something and people can introduce their own like color palettes and color schemes. I'm sure that could be a way to do the mandala as well. And I know there's different types of patterns for it too. So I think that would be a very interesting look.
Someone put, thank you, Martin, that's a great idea. Someone put, we have a staff who used to be a ceramic instructor and it's free. That's a great idea to have ceramic.
So one of the comments in the sticky is host an art class to make new art for the hub, maybe in collaboration with these wonderful artists or helping us in this focus group and such, or the Pacific Art League. I think that makes a lot of sense. Having more opportunities to do more art, especially if y'all really like engaging in this process, because like we said, we do want as many people to participate as possible. If it's something that you're interested in or just curious about, want to try something new, want to learn more about the professional side of art making and the creative process, this is the opportunity for that. And we want to extend that to each and every one of y'all on this call, who is working with the hub. That's what we want out of this. It is community led, it's community art for a reason. So it is very, very important to have a certain type of participation. So we got some more comments as well. One of the things is tapestry, so textiles. I don't know too much about tapestry work, but I mean, I know how to crochet, so I don't know if anybody else like has some type of like skill set related to like textile making or anything, but maybe that could be related to the classes.
And they said, agree, tapestry work would be good for a class. Also beadwork. Nice. Making ceramic dishes to hang as a bonding activity before the hub's opening. Oh, that's an interesting idea. And then there's another one that says, host an art class to make new art for the hub, maybe in collaboration with these wonderful artists who are helping with this focus group and our Pacific Art League. Great idea. Beadworks, okay. Any other idea? There are lots of places inside the hub that you can showcase your art or even create them and then showcase them.
It seems like there's a big interest in a variety of types of mediums in artwork, experiencing different things. So I think this could definitely be integrated in some of the services provided. It can be a continued conversation with the hub staff. So it makes me very excited. And I think that would also give an opportunity for any local artists, you know, y'all could collaborate with, or we could connect you with through Civic Design Studio.
And sensory wall. Lauren, is movie TikTok consider art? 3D and interactive art, making videos?
I think it could vary. I guess it would depend on like the end product of it. Because I mean, I think things can be, usually things are either represented like 2D or 3D, but there's like multimedia experiences sometimes that are like a amalgamation or a combination of multiple things at once. So then it's more of an experience that you're immersed in. So, I mean, it's totally possible to do something like that.
Okay, anyone else have any thoughts on what you like to see? 2D, 3D, 4D art, and anything else you want to showcase? Last call. Let me see if there's any hands raised. Nothing else in the chat. Okay, these are some good ideas. So I think back to you, Lauren, for, oh, no, that's it. So with that being said, we're going to pull up the PowerPoint again presentation, and we're really excited to have heard a lot of your feedback. So I just put the Jamboard link in the chat box. Some of you asked, can you guys see the comments after the meeting? So the answer is yes. Feel free to just go into your Jamboard and put in additional comments or see the comprehensive comments that had been recorded. And again, if you have any other thoughts or want to just put in your comments, feel free to reach out or just put that in a Jamboard link. It was really excited to hear a lot of good ideas. We want to incorporate all of them and come up with ways to incorporate as many of them as possible, and also partner with you guys to create the art, and also with the hub staff to also create them. So we will turn this back to Natalie and to do the Q&A session and wrap up.
Thank you, Macy. And apologies for having my camera off. I think I'm having a weak internet moment. Next slide. So just a quick reminder of our meeting guidelines as we move into Q&A. Please type your questions into the Q&A box or the chat, or you can raise your hand and unmute when we call on you. If a particular topic is popular or lengthy, we might do a deeper dive at a bi-monthly coffee session. And now we're going to take down the presentation, and I'll be our facilitator for Q&A. And Macy, if you could stop the recording, please. Well, as a reminder, here's our anticipated project schedule. So Allied is working on entitlements, financing, and they're about to move into the building permits phase. In yellow, you can, or orangey yellow, you can see the opportunities for input. There's the 5-part workshop series that we're in right now. We're in meeting number 4. We've started the bi-monthly meetings. We will schedule the next one soon. So we are,
I had a question. Where's the new
Yes.
hub going to be at? Where's the
it
new
is,
building going to be?
yeah, it's going to be at 1510 Parkmoor Avenue in San Jose.
Oh, I live in that area, so that would be awesome.
Nice.
That's on the west side, so yeah, that's awesome. Sweet. I was wondering, because that was my question the whole time. I was like, wait a minute, I have a question. And I was like, where's the new hub going to be? Because I was like, wait a minute, I joined this meeting, I didn't even ask where the new hub is going to be. Where the new hub's going to be at. So yeah, I was just wondering. Thank you for answering my question.
Yeah. No problem. Okay. All right. So we're looking at construction completion towards the end of 2025 and then opening of hub. All right. Can you go to the next slide, please, Rod? Okay. So there's a number of ways to stay engaged. You could sign up for our notification list. You can email the project email address shown on the screen. You can also use this email address for any design comments you want to share. And please email this email address to sign up to be involved in making and designing art for the new hub. I feel like this is a wonderful opportunity that Lauren and Tommy and Macy spoke about. So this is how you sign up, is that email address. And please attend upcoming workshops, and you can email county staff at any point in time. There's a number of us who work on this project, so please email Andrew, our day-to-day project manager, and he'll forward your email to the appropriate person so that they can respond. Next slide. All right, and so we will post a video of the presentation portion of this meeting on Allied's project website for those who weren't able to join us today, or if you want to view it later. And thank you all so much for participating. We look forward to seeing you next time. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. It's great to have you.
Thank you.
Yes, thanks again for hosting.
Thank you so much, everyone.
It was
Thank
amazing to meet
you.
everyone from Civic Design Studios as well. We're really excited to work with you all.
Thank you very much.